Hi folks, welcome to the Movie Reviewers 100. I'm raydvd and this week's theme is Clint Eastwood. Now I take it was to pick a film that's starred or is directed. Now I've picked one of his cowboy films. In my opinion, his three best cowboy films have been For a Few Dollars More, The Outlaw Josie Wales and this one, which is Unforgiven. So the basic story is, William Money is a retired outlaw. His wife's died a few years ago and he's left to bring up his two young kids on his farm. In the town of Big Whiskey, a whore gets her face cut off by some cowboys. And the sheriff of Big Whiskey is Lil Bill, played by Gene Hackman. Lil Bill says to the guys to bring in some horses as a compensation, but the whores aren't satisfied with that and they put a bounty on the cowboys' heads. Now Lil Bill thinks there's going to be trouble brewing. He says that every varmint from here to Texas is going to be after the bounty, so he knows that there's going to be trouble. And the first person to come to town is an old gunslinger called English Bob, played by Richard Harris. English Bob is just a cold-blooded killer, and when he comes to town, one of the rules of Big Whiskey is you shouldn't have guns. Of course English Bob turns up and he's not about to give up his guns, but English Bob and Lil Bill have got history. They know each other from way back. They were both killers in their day, and there's just going to be that just something's going to happen. So Bill takes the guns off of Bob and he gives him a severe beating, and he shouts out in the street that anybody who comes looking for that reward is going to get the same thing will happen to them. He puts Bob in jail, and in that time Bob's been travelling with what he calls his biographer, which is just one of these sort of dime comic guys who's writing these stories about English Bob, and of course he embellishes the truth in that. So Bill puts him right. He says he was there at this particular story that he's describing. He says he tells him how it really was, no the fictionalised version of it. So this guy turns up at William Money's house. He's called the Schofield Kid, who's a wannabe gunslinger. He knows the reputation of William Money, and he says that he'll split the reward with him for killing these two guys. So Money looks out his guns and starts target practice, but he soon comes to realise that the skills he learned long ago have deserted him. So then he goes to see his old pal Ned, and he says to him that him and the Schofield Kid, they'll split the money between them all. So him and Ned head off with the Schofield Kid to claim the reward. And on the way they reminisce about the old times, and Ned recalls that Money was a real mean son of a bitch with a drink in him. But Money's always protesting that he ain't like that no more. He says he's a changed man, but as you soon find out at the end of the film, he's just, deep down he's still that same guy. So I don't want to give the ending away, so in case you haven't seen the film, but this is an absolute magnificent film. It's one of Clint's best. It was made in 1992, and it was starred and directed by Clint. It won 4 Academy Awards: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Supporting Actor for Gene Hackman, who was absolutely amazing in this as well, and Best Editing. The acting in it is absolutely top notch. You've got Clint playing one of his best roles for years. You've got Gene Hackman, who's plays just an absolutely vicious guy in it. Of course Morgan Freeman's always good in everything, and you've got a great cameo by Richard Harris. It's so much different from what cowboy films were made. Cowboy films in the 80s and 90s were virtually non-existent. Their time was the 60s and 70s, and the romanticised version of the cowboys of them days was that you had a 6 gun, you could shoot anybody with one shot and all that. Whereas this film, it shows the West what it really was. The brutal reality of it was that guns sometimes backfired. You had to hold your nerve. Like money, had to have a drink to steady his hands, and just the brutality of the West. Definitely one of Clint's best ever films. He's just the direction in it is superb. The cinematography is amazing in it. Acting top notch, and I would highly recommend this. So I'll leave you with the trailer.
Step over to the office and get the bullwhip.
A whipping? That's all they get after what they've done? Get out of there!
It was a matter of honor.
They're paying $1,000 to whatever kills the two boys that cut up Delilah.
In a time when lawmen were killers.
What are y'all looking at?
You English, Bob? Outlaws were heroes.
Well, I thought that you were dead.
Hell, I even thought I was dead. Till I found out I was just in Nebraska. And a bad reputation.
You're the one who killed William Harvey and robbed that train over Missouri?
Was as good as gold.
My guess is you're calling yourself Mr. William Money.
Say what?
You don't look no meaner than hell, cold-blooded damn killer.
I ain't like that anymore, kid.
$1,000 reward, Will. Nobody's gonna come.
So you still have that Spencer rifle, huh?
Yeah. My partner.
You don't go, I don't go.
What's it come 2-3 ways?
Just because we're going on this killing, that don't mean I'm gonna go back to being the way I was.
Are you really gonna kill them cowboys?
Do not like assassins. Or men of low character. We ain't bad men no more. We're farmers.
Savages! A bunch of bloody savages! Assassin!
Oh, I guess they have it coming.
We all have it coming, kid.
Some legends will never be forgotten. Some wrongs can never be forgiven.
Any man don't want to get killed. Better clear on out the back.